Gringos on the Go. My name is Daryl. I am here in Veracruz, Jalapa, Mexico. Welcome to my live stream. This is going to be short and sweet, just like my wife over there slaving away. Say hi, Jennifer. All right, guys, I just want to do a quick recap about yesterday. I was talking about an incident that happened on our street, and I didn't get the full details. Well, now I have the details. It was not a mass shooting. It was not a kidnapping. It was nothing serious like that. All it was somebody stole a man from the parking lot next door, I do believe. So we live right beside parking garage right next door. And I do believe that's where the van was stolen from. It could have been on the street, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm suspecting it was from the parking garage next door. So anyway, that's the incident that happened yesterday, nothing major. That's it, we didn't even know anything about it. So the ladies had come around asking if our cameras had picked anything up. We don't have access to our cameras, our landlord does, so they've reached out to him now, and that's all in their hands. I have no idea what the outcome is of that, but the cameras do work, I know that. We have special internet for the cameras, so, and we have cameras inside and outside, and then he's got cameras just up the street as well in front of his place and on the inside of his place as well, so. Down, Jennifer says, that's awesome. So yeah, and then I also just wanted to touch base. I hear a lot about people's biggest concern about Mexico is safety. Oh, I'm not going to say that, you know, everywhere is safe and everywhere is dangerous, because that's just not true. You know, of course there's dangerous areas, but most of it is your lifestyle. You know, if you live a normal life and you're not into common sense stuff, right? If you're not flashing jewelry, you know, flashing big wads of cash, you know, chances are you're going to be just fine living here in Mexico, no matter where you live. You know, like for us, we've been here for over 2.5 years now, and we've never had any issues whatsoever. We've never even been shaken down by the police at all, not once. And a lot of people I hear say on, you know, Facebook and different social media groups, you know, oh, the police, we had to bribe the police and we were shook down. And, you know, I've even heard other YouTubers say that. And we drive all over the place. We've never been shook down once. I think I'm a pretty good driver, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it or the type of car that we're driving. We have, you know, we have a pretty cheap car. Like, it's brand new, but it's like one of the cheapest cars you can buy in Mexico. So the two cheapest cars in Mexico that you can buy is a Chevy Aveo and the Dodge Attitude. So that's the two cheapest cars you can buy here. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Plus also we're rolling a huge factor in it as well. And we're not flashy. We're not driving a big SUV, you know, we kind of blend in with the car we're driving. So I don't know. I suspect that has a lot to do with it. You know, and like I say, I'm not a speed demon. I'm not, you know, flying down the highway at, you know, 100 miles an hour. You know, pretty chill driver. Stick to the rules of the road as best I possibly can. So that probably has a huge factor in it. You know, as I stated before, we're not drinkers, so that has a huge factor in it, I'm sure, as well, right? We're not out there boozing and then driving around, you know. And people think, you know, oh, I can have a couple of drinks and I can drive fine. It's like the people that smoke dope, right? Oh, I'm totally normal when I'm stoned. Well, sorry, you're not. You're not normal when you're stoned, and you're not normal after a couple of drinks. You may think you are, but you're not. So, anyway, we won't get into all that. But yeah, if you lead a normal, decent lifestyle, chances are you're going to be just fine. You're not going to be shaken down by the police. And, you know, that's my opinion anyway. And like I said, we've been here for over 2.5 years. We haven't had, knock on wood, any incidents. Yeah, so let's just take a quick look outside here, guys. So yeah, guys, life is pretty normal here. As long as you're normal, I think life is pretty normal. Welcome, welcome to my live stream, my friend. Like I said, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. We're going to do these vertical lives once in a while. I just wanted to hop on today and tell you about the update of the vehicle that was stolen, the van, before I forget. So that's why I hopped on today. And that's all it was. Nothing serious. I do know that there has been some theft in this neighborhood. A lady had her laptop stolen not too long ago, about 4 or 5 months before we got here. But other than that, I've never heard of any really serious crimes here. Been robbed. So she was actually robbed at gunpoint, I do believe, as well. Now, whether the gun was real, I don't know. Whether the gun was loaded, I have no idea. And it was late at night. It was 11 o'clock at night. So, I mean, you really just have to have common sense, right? Like I said, I wouldn't be walking around flashing jewelry, wouldn't be walking around flashing big wads of cash. You know, I wouldn't be out drunk wandering the streets. You know, I wouldn't be out trying to pick up hookers, you know, stuff like that. So if you lead a pretty normal life, chances are you're going to be just fine living here in Mexico. From what I've witnessed, that seems to be the biggest concern for most people. Am I going to be safe? Like, they want to move to Mexico, but they think it's dangerous. They just think everywhere they go is dangerous. Well, it's not like that. It's not at all. I mean, you go anywhere that we've been anyway, life is just normal, you know, families living their lives, you know, kids going to school. Yeah, it's really normal. It really is. It's really, really normal. It's probably safer here in Mexico than any big city in the USA. I won't say Canada, because Canada is a pretty safe country, except for maybe Toronto, the bigger cities, Toronto, Vancouver, areas like that can be a bit dangerous. But like Edmonton and Calgary and, you know, Saskatoon, I mean, that can even be dangerous, you know, with stabbings and whatnot. But I think overall here, you're just as safe, if not safer, than any big city in Canada or the USA. Especially the USA, though. Especially the US. There's a lot of crime, a lot of shooting. Everyone's got guns down there. Canada, not so much. A lot of stabbings and stuff. I mean, there is gun crimes, obviously, in Canada as well. But, yeah, people get caught in the crossfire, for sure. Don't get me wrong. There is crime here. You know, people do get murdered, absolutely. But, again, I think a lot of it depends on your lifestyle. You know, so keep your nose clean, stay drug free, stay, you know, nothing wrong with having a few drinks, absolutely, no big deal, but use common sense, right? Like anything, you know. And also, the car you drive, I think, is a big deal, right? Big Cheval, sorry, I'm not understanding Sinola. Yeah, I don't know what you're asking me there, what you're saying there. I don't know that first place.
Michoacan or Sinaloa.
Yeah.
They're two different states in Mexico. I'm not sure what you were talking about. But maybe she's saying those states are dangerous. And I think those states are the birthplace of the drug cartel, so she's probably right.
Yeah, well, for sure, there's definitely, I'm not saying everywhere is totally safe, and I think as you get closer to the American border, it's a little bit more dangerous, you know. You get away from the U.S. border, you know. I've talked to people that live in one of those states, and I mean, there's Americans that live there, and they live just fine. I talked to one guy, he lives in Sonora, and he goes back and forth to the U.S. to work, and they live there in Mexico, close to the border, and they have no problem. So I mean, there's people living their lives there, but yeah, no gold bumper for my car. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely dangerous. There's definitely dangerous places in Mexico. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm not saying that there is no place that's you know, there's crime all over the world, right? So what I'm saying is overall, I believe Mexico is a lot safer than Canada and the USA overall. That's my opinion anyway. The big cities especially. They say there's crime everywhere, no matter where you go, there's crime. So, and also I think if you lead a normal lifestyle, you know, you like I said, you're not into drugs, you're not into prostitution, you're not into all that, you know, illegal type of activities, chances are you're going to be just fine, you know. Again, also using common sense, right? You know, common sense is a big factor here. And as I've learned in the last 3-4 years, common sense isn't so common anymore. So, but I do agree with you there. If that's what you're saying, to the north, I think is a little bit more dangerous than down where we are. The northern states, I should say, because that's where a lot of the illegal activities are taking place, right close to the U.S. border. You know, so I mean, your odds are greater of getting caught in the crossfire living in those places than say, you know, Mexico City or say, you know, Merida. You know, and even in Merida, there's crime. I mean, there's crime in Merida. I've heard of home invasions in Merida, break-ins, you know, people getting mugged, you know. The beach towns, there's theft, you know, people are stealing out in the beach towns, even in the Yucatan. So, I mean, yeah, Mexico is not immune to crime, that's for sure. There's crime all over the world. But it just seems people just automatically think that, you know, Mexico is just, it's so dangerous everywhere, you know. Where it's not dangerous everywhere. Life is pretty normal everywhere, you know, overall. So, yeah, no gold bumper for my car, you got that right. So, anyway, guys, I just wanted to hop on and talk about yesterday's incident that I had mentioned. So I'm going to sign out now, my friends. God bless everybody out there. Peace on earth. Be kind to one another, and thanks for hopping on. Give me a thumbs up, please, and thank you. And if you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. God bless. Hasta luego. Peace on earth. Be kind.